guys, so it's 2018 and I know I wanted to do this last year and clearly I didn't get a chance to. But today I'm going to kick off my YouTube channel finally. Like, I know I've done some speed paints in the past, and I did a sketchbook walkthrough. I did a MS Paint challenge, but sorry, I was drinking water. I really at least want to be able to post a video a month. And I don't think that's too much to do because, like, I love drawing, I love video editing, and I feel like it's a good way to combine two of my very favorite hobbies. So, of course, video games. Can't really combine that into it. But so to kick off 2018 and to a reboot of my YouTube channel, I am going to show you my art all the way from like elementary school-ish. I have a couple pieces from then to when I started getting really serious in 2008, all the way up until now. So this is going to be a very long video, and I understand if you're not interested in watching it, but I figured it's really fun to get a good progress, and I feel that's a good way to kick off my YouTube channel. Because originally I was going to do the Meet the Artist 2017, but it took me almost a whole year to finish the piece, and when I went to edit the video, the file was corrupted. So I felt like this is a good way to start this off. And no, I'm not going to put in all the pieces from my entire life, because that would just be too much and I probably don't have it all. But without further ado, I give you kawaiiwolves' art progress from elementary school to 2018. Alright, let's get started. So one of the first pieces I found, as you can see, it's pretty. It has some wear and tear. So this is from elementary school because one of my first anime pieces was favorite animes was Inuyasha. And so a lot of these first few pieces are going to be Inuyasha. And this was actually the second picture I did of Rin, I think. No, it was the first one. Second piece, I don't know what happened to that one, but I remember, like, the second piece was actually worse than the first piece, which I found really funny. But, like, I think the second piece, I had, like, a really small drawing I was copying from, whereas this was, like, the full screen of one of my DVDs. And now I have a few of Kirara, which I think I did pretty good, considering I was in elementary school when I did this. Clearly the coloring's not all that great, but, I mean, you can clearly tell it's her. I think this is from the first movie. And so I ended up drawing Kirara a lot, and I tried to do a background. That doesn't really look like her that much. This one looks better, but her head's too big compared to her body. This one I did pretty good on. Try to add in a background again. I think I really got her proportions pretty well. Definitely considering I was in elementary school. But again, aside from, I remember also around this time I drew myself and all my family members as angels. And that was about the only time I would draw from my own head. So if I did draw, I was normally mimicking or copying different anime. And I loved anime, so I kind of just went for that. So next, we have a little picture of Ino. And this one I did for my head, if you can't tell. Hid the hands behind the back, go figure. And it feels like I used a marker to outline it and colored pencil to color it. And I'm guessing I might have looked up her outfit from back then. And then I think so because I also did this one around the same time. And this one I looked directly at an image, clearly. And it looks like I had drew it in pencil, didn't outline it, and then colored it in a mix of crayon and color pencil. And I think I actually submitted a copy of this one, or maybe I redrew it. But I do remember submitting this to like a comic books art contest for kids, and I won in the kids category. And now we get to me more trying to draw my own stuff. And these from 2008, 2007-ish. And as you can see, you can barely see the picture. I'll try to. So I would make bios like this, and all my clothing was very, very stiff. Poses too. I drew feet outwards because I wanted you to know they were feet. And I covered the eye a lot, as you can see in this one. I also had a thing for these cat wolf type demons at the time. And I thought they were really cool, so much so that I decided to have an idea of Sakura Haruno from Naruto, possessed by one. Yeah, I don't know. And also I couldn't spell either. And I was like in 8th grade. But I went on that kick for a while. And as you can see now, I was trying to mimic the Naruto style more than Inuyasha style, because that's what I was really into. And I also drew another one. And then I had a thing for making Sakura less spunky for whatever reason. And so I'm guessing it's probably about the time Shippuden was coming out. And so then I decided to have her kill someone, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, eventually I guess she ended up in the Akatsuki. I have no idea where my mind was going. But anyways, and so whenever I wasn't doing the feet like that, I would just completely hide the feet. And instead of what probably should have been grass, I decided to make it water. And again, I'm covering up the eye because I didn't want to draw the other eye, ever. But also around this time, I was really into wanting to make comics and mangas. But this is also how Potato Head Gaara came to life. Yeah, and I remember in middle school, like, it was such a kick that Gaara loved cookies, even though I think in the bio it says he liked steak. But I knew he liked cookies because that's what the website told me. I mean, I don't know, fandom. Again, put my character in the Akatsuki and would use the cloak to cover everything. And I did put a little bit of a hand in there, but barely any. And again, still covering the eye and still don't know how to color at all. And this is 2008. But I did do some fan art. I did Tamari. I actually really liked drawing Tamari this time. And I gotta admit, that fan is actually pretty good. So I'm guessing around this time is when I started outlining my art. But I used a ballpoint pen, which I suppose can be good in some instances. And I like to use it to shade and sketch now. But I couldn't really get good lines. But still, just like with the Kirara pictures, I was able to copy pictures pretty well. I mean, Sasuke's face is a bit weird, but I did Itachi pretty well at this time. But I couldn't get a set idea for what I wanted for Shadow. And so it changed a lot. And she even had an obsession for cookies too, because you know Gar did in my little middle school mind. So she also freaked out and had anger issues. And I drew her in a scarf, and I don't know why I didn't think about putting her headband on her. And at the time I was also really into the scene hair, and she got the red tips because of that. But I was starting to actually draw feet. And so that's progress in itself. Then I even try to draw men, draw the sexiness. From time to time I did actually draw feet and full bodies, but rarely ever. And then sometimes I would use a pose from one of my Naruto cards to redraw it, but draw it as my character. And it sometimes still ended up a little bit wonky. And then I would always just draw my own, and they're just right here. Don't fill up the page, I just drew it right there. Now we're in 2009, by the way. And this one was 2009. I switched pens on myself, but I clearly was not good at with a steady hand, because it's very, very sketchy liner. I don't think you can really see it. Very, very sketchy line art. But I continued my love for comics, and this is a lot better than Potato Head Gara. I actually really liked Shadow's eyes. I varied my eyes a lot. And I also started getting anime tutorial books at this time. So that influenced my eyes a lot. And you can see, because now I'm about to have a redraw. Now that's really good for me in this time, because not all of them really ended up that way, and the hands are still a bit wonky, but out of the glance they still look really nice. And I put pretty much good detail. I'm still using a ballpoint pen to line at this time, and I think I've been using Crayola Twistables to color at this point. As you can see, there's still no real fluid motion, and if I had it in my own, it ended up kind of weird. But I would also get inspiration from my friends, and one of my friends who was like a lot better of an artist than me at the time, she would let me and another friend take her pictures as reference to draw with, so we can get a pose better or something like that, since she was so advanced, which was really nice. So then I would start mimicking her style, though, whenever I did that, instead of making my own. And also, in course, because one of my friends had started to do it, I started just drawing and then coloring over my pictures and not lining it at all, which is kind of just because I was lazy, I guess. Or just because she was doing it, I don't really know. But, and then sometimes I would still line like I did here. And from time to time, I would do more of a realistic approach, because, again, some of my friends were doing it. But ultimately, I always steered back to anime. And when I wasn't just coloring over pencil, I would just do gray shading, because also, again, another one of my friends was doing this at the time, so I started doing that as well. I would take a lot of inspiration from my friends and kind of just follow suit. And then, I think we're in 2009, 2010, I went back to coloring. I think I switched pens up, it looks like. I probably started using a Sharpie pen, 5-point pen, I think. I think that's about right. Still using the Crayola Twistables. And still, from time to time, I was using references. So my eyes changed again to a more simplistic view. And I think I used a mix of crayon and color pencil. And then I would also redraw some of my pictures, but as you can see, a lot of the value gets lost here. I meant to have the Octo ninja symbol, the music note, but it just kind of looks like she's pregnant instead, which is what I wanted. I used a reference for this guy. I think it was a fan art reference though. So if you notice it, credit to you, person. But yeah, and then you see Shadow, even though she's in the Akatsuki, just gets lost. The value's completely lost. But it was a lot more of an improvement from my original one. And I believe on DeviantArt, I have the before and after. But I would hide handsome, but I was starting to draw more and more from my mind, which it was really nice. Because I believe this one and even this one, I think I drew from my head. I could be wrong. I was also varying with my lines. I think I started using Sakura pens at this point, maybe? I could be wrong. Paper fill, I think so. But yeah, and I remember being really proud of this, and looking at it now, the anatomy's a bit wrong, but at that time, it was still very for me. And now, since I started with Kirara, I'm not ending here, but I did in 2010 redraw her in grayscale again, and it certainly improved a lot. If I say so myself, it looks more like it's straight from the anime, just a grayscale version. So I was really proud of that. I can't really think of much. Probably just made sure it didn't smear out of the lines with what I would improve on. And then I took a picture of myself that I took and then redrew it. But see, my shading was still pretty. I was never really good at shading. But using these references, I was able to draw more people and more poses, and I feel like this helped me advance more. Because this is still this 2010, yeah, 2010, 2011. I don't always date them, so I'm like, ugh. But I remember because you might recognize this as a Vocaloid poses, because that's where I originally took it from. I added her in her pose, and then I changed his, because originally I don't think the guy was following, because I think that was Lynn, one of the twins that was following. So there's that. And then I started doing my Merry Christmas picture. I did this pose completely from my head. So it's still a bit stiff, but I mean, it's definitely a lot better. I did feet and hands covered by mittens and boots, but that's certainly, and then you see my eyes starting to develop again. And then here's 2011, and sometimes I'd get great pieces that were completely from my head, and I would even try to do sort of a background, but if I had done this now, I would have added some more into it, and her not just like in a padded cell almost. And then sometimes like I would do random styles out of nowhere, like this Edo piece, which I still love to this day. But the style isn't anything that built on what I was working on at the time, or like what I ended up with now. But it's still, I felt like it was beautiful, and I loved her eye so much. And then I started doing more folds in my fabric, and started doing more poses from my head is what I was really trying to do. And my eyes still vary from time to time, but like I didn't always get proportions right. But I was starting to get poses and pieces coming directly from my head, which was really nice. But that being said, they didn't always work out too well. Like Kinsey here, she's really good. Ariel's pretty good. So is Larissa. But proportions on myself and on Maddie and on Cheyenne still get a bit wonky. But which were in 2012. But still, like, I tried getting my colors more solid now. Got poses that are from myself, trying different fonts, and here in 2013, my noses are starting to get a bit weird, and I don't know why that's happening. I said whatever. Oh, I put the Christmas date there, but I finished it in 2013. That's what had happened. But I was slowly getting pieces that were from my head, and then I was just loving, which was really nice. And sometimes I would do backgrounds. Still pretty flat for me, but slowly but surely I was improving, which was a lot from what I had ever thought I would be at. And I was just doing it for fun. And we do fan art, which was really nice. I would never had imagined this back when I started in like 2008. I drew a whole class picture for whenever I graduated high school and put so many people in there. And I don't know if their proportions are right or whatever, if it exactly looks like it, if you can tell who they are, but I certainly tried, and I fit all of these people on here. And by the way, I was at a private school, that's why it's a small senior class. And then even with the headshots, I still got further here. And it doesn't pick up too well on camera, but I really love the shading of these pants because I had never really done good shading before. And then, as it continued on, I started doing more backgrounds. And that, hold on, I'm gonna get a drink of water. But before, I wouldn't have even attempted that. But I did, and as you can see here, I'm also trying to make sure there's no white spaces that's left in the pencil. Sometimes I still mess up, but I mean, these two were prize arts that I did for a art contest on DeviantArt. So I tried to do really good, give them backgrounds and whatnot for the people that won. And then I was still working on my comics, so this was an art trade. Excuse me. And I think I actually had a color in with pencil there. I would run out of ink a lot. And yeah, like, sometimes I made people too skinny, but, like, I still really love this piece, and this isn't even my character. But also around this time, it's still 2013, I started looking up references, and this was whenever I was writing a lot. So I made designs of outfits, which was really branched off, because I would always just put someone in a t-shirt and skinny jeans and call it a day. And I would just continue going like this, which I kept trying to put in more and more backgrounds, which I never would have thought. Because as you saw the white void, I never would have done that before. Try to adjust the lighting for you guys. And then another Christmas picture, tried to spice it up with a little bit of ornaments. I'm holding a globe this time, still the same outfit, not a full body picture, but I mean, so this must be 2014, and as you can see, still on with the comics. And sorry, I just actually talking about it is like kind of weird. At this time though, I also was like having these really pointy chins, but I would experiment more. Like, I drew these game characters, you know, from both Final Fantasy X and X-2, and originally I was going to have tons of chibis back there, but I decided not to. But I put so much detail into the clothing, which I never would have done before. But then a lot of the time, when I drew by myself, just from my head, or this was actually a request, so someone's character, but if I drew the pose for myself, I still was kind of white space, and The proportion's not quite right. The shading's still not all that good. People are too skinny. But I mean, compared to... Alright, flip this all sorts of ways, guys. Ooh. Ooh. This one picture. No. Aha, okay. Compared to this, that's a lot of improvement. But then, I'm just gonna stick that in here now. That's a lot. Then, come 2014 to 2015, I started getting a lot into digital art. And I'm going to pull these up on my iPad, but I'll probably also put an image in my edit, in the video, of the actual thing. Where am I? Haha! Is this the one I wanted to start with? Well, it is. Okay, so I did a lot of vector art at this time. And this was actually one of my last vector art pieces I did when I started taking digital art seriously. Let me see if I can brighten that up for you guys. Aha, that looks worse. But bear with me. I'll put on one side. I'll put the real image up, just so I can talk about it easier. And is this? Yeah, this is 2014. Sorry. And soon after this, I did redesign Shadow anyways, but this was the last time I did vector. I had lined it already, so I didn't want to redo it with my tablet. I'm still... Shh, that was my phone, I'm sorry. I was still, just getting into digital art, and a lot of times when I did do digital art, I did vector art to do my lines and whatnot, because I wasn't really that good with the tablet, but then I started working with my tablet more with working with bases, and then also I started to draw something traditionally with the sketch and then scan it onto my computer. And then, well, this was still vectors, actually, wasn't it? Maybe not, but sorry. But a lot of the time, once I started getting more into digital art, I would just draw it traditionally and then scan it and put it on. And I would try to do some backgrounds, but normally they're pretty simplistic. This one I did use with the tablet. I know that one for sure. And then I just started improving more and more. And soon I was doing bigger pieces. And I'd have something like this. So now, well, I can show you these last two. I never would... Oh, that looks better on my video camera than it does in person. I don't know if I want to show you guys. But I was... And this one, there's some things I had to fix on it. But this one was a commission piece. I sold so many prints. Well, probably not compared to other people. But I never sold prints before. So I was really proud of this one. In the background, and else is actually the one I kind of would want to change up and a little bit of this arch thing here. But hey guys, so originally in between these two parts I was going to have some clips of me showing off my big pieces from when I took art classes, but unfortunately, because I recorded it on my phone and now iTunes, Apple is being weird with my PC. I used to be able to directly drag videos or pictures from my phone. I can't get the footage onto my computer, and honestly, I don't really want to re-record, and frankly, this video is already really long, so please forgive me. If you guys want to see it again in the future, just leave comments below and I'll record it some other way and get it to you guys. But here's the rest of the video. So about this time, I started getting into markers. So, I originally got water-based markers, and I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I was just doing it. But I did find out I could get a paler skin tone with using this white marker gel thing and then coloring over it. But then that kind of, when the white marker, I was starting to started dying, and kind of messed up some of my art pieces. And clearly, I couldn't really use it with tan people. But I also did make this. I think I did it as a gift or prize art. I don't know, it's on my DeviantArt. And I was really proud of it. I mean, clearly the background could be better, but I mean, considering the detail on the tree and people and how I've never used markers before and I was water-based, I think I did pretty good. And then, well, these are some sketches I don't want you guys to see right now. Oh, and here's another little, actually I really like that. Looks really good in the camera. But then I did some manga illustrations. Let me turn this for you guys. I didn't want to show you guys these, but here it is. And then finally, sorry, there's a lot of sketches in there. I should have marked these out. So I also did this as a part of like a little gift commission. Let me get this one out of the way. And then made this, which was the redraw of the Fiona, which I'll put up over here somewhere, from 2013. And I can really see the shading has increased phenomenally, along with the poses. I actually know how to place my things, didn't leave empty spaces, and made the anatomy a bit better, which was nice. But here is whenever I got my oil-based markers, and I love these. So I wasn't really sure how to shade it too well yet, which once I got a good white gel pen, I was really happy about that. Didn't have many purples, but my hair was purple at the time, so I was trying to make that highlight, which doesn't look too bad on camera, but not so good in person. I got so excited that on an art trade, of all things, I drew this with my new markers. And the sky is, it looks better on camera. I like you. You're making my art look better. But I really like how my friend's character here turned out. This thing is, I love oil-based markers, guys. You don't even understand. And then I did a few more here and here. This one was never finished, so you guys never seen that, so hey. These were posted, and I think that's about it for this. And also, around this time, this is 2015, 2016, I did some headshots of OCs. So this looks a bit bad. Just practicing my shading and facial expressions, and I just felt like all these characters needed to be revamped and redrawn. And some of these characters aren't mine, they're shared with my friend Ariel, and we use them to RP. But they're really fun to draw, and you saw him earlier. Can you give me the timestamp for it? I never finished shading him, but there was those. And then I also attempted Inktober in 2016 with my nice oil-based markers. But as I will say in a future video, I made it to day 6 and I failed to continue any further. But I had fun with what I did get to do. So, this sketchbook went aside. I jump around sketchbooks all the time. And we got this piece, which was me having fun with my markers, and I kind of revamped my character's shadow. Here's some, which you saw a lot of evolution from originally. And I'm going to flip this over because this, put this off to the side. This time I decided to shade with my Prismacolor pencils and just color the base colors with my oil bases, which I really liked it because I was able to get really nice detail in his hair. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I will always do this. But I did, thanks to that method, create this big piece, which is, it's not that big, but it's big to me because of the background. And had fun with the people, and the background doesn't really make sense, but I at least tried it. I spent a lot of time on this for this late Christmas gift. But I had a really fun time. I think she's so cute. I think she's probably my favorite out of this whole thing. And then I continued with my manga art, with my friendship drawing, and I just love these oil-based markers, guys. But to see where my color pencil shading has come all this time, like, this is a sad picture, but this picture, like, my shading, I am so proud of it. Definitely here on those jeans. I even used like a purple to help shade, and also helped link back to these socks. I'm really proud of this, and even though, yes, I was sad at the time of making this, like, I'm really proud of that. And then back to the small sketchbook. 2017 did not get a lot of art, unfortunately. And so it got this, which I'm really proud of. I'm really proud of that background and just the manga. And luckily in the scan you can't really pick up the purple pencil I sketched with, because I used Prismacolor erase, and so the camera can't pick it up either. So this one again looks better scanned and on camera than it does in person because of that purple pencil. But I really like it. And I also did this, and at the same time, that's a sketch, that's not done. And this was my final piece of 2017. And I think, you will have a video on this in coming time. And here, to round it out, is a picture I literally completed today on the recording of this video. And I am so proud of it, guys. I really am. Definitely of my little baby here. This is another gift for a friend, and guys, to go from where I was, let me try to find the accurate picture. This is good enough. Just to go from this, when on like 2006, 2007, all the way to this, I think it really shows how far I've come. And whenever you get down in your archives, you just have to look and compare yourself to where you have been. Because it may take a while. You may not increase as fast as others, but you'll get there. and you're always improving. So for this 2018, guys, just keep trying, and I'm gonna try to keep you guys with at least a monthly YouTube video. And if you stuck around for this whole thing, thank you for watching my art journey from 2000 something 6, 7, 8-ish to 2018. And 2008 was whenever I started taking art more seriously. And I think a decade of work has really improved me, and I can't wait to see what you guys have. But I'll see you next time. Bye!